373,000 websites, all fake, all run by one guy, sitting behind a screen in China. He built the biggest scam the dark web had ever seen. And for 5 years, it worked. Thousands of criminals lined up to buy from him, sending Bitcoin into his wallet, getting absolutely nothing in return. But here's the part that'll blow your mind. The police knew about him the entire time, and they didn't shut him down. They let him keep running because every single person who clicked buy on his sites was walking straight into a trap. This is Operation Alice. Let's go back to late 2019. Somewhere in China, a 35-year-old man had an idea. Not a good idea, not a legal idea, but honestly, a kind of genius one. He looked at the dark web, this massive underground network where people buy and sell things they'd never touch on the regular internet. And he saw an opportunity. See, the dark web runs on trust. Weird, right? There's no customer service, no refund policy, no leaving a bad review. If you send someone Bitcoin and they ghost you, that's it. You're done. What are you gonna do? Call the cops. And that's exactly what this guy was counting on. He started building websites, hundreds of them, then thousands, then tens of thousands. Every single one of them advertised the same thing: packages of illegal content ranging from 17 euros to 215 euros, payable only in Bitcoin. The sites looked real, the pricing looked real, the payment system worked perfectly. There was just one small detail. None of it existed. There was no product, there was no content. There was nothing on the other end of that transaction except an empty folder and a very happy scammer. And the people getting ripped off, they couldn't exactly go to the authorities and say, "Hey, I tried to buy something illegal and the seller scammed me." It was the perfect crime. But this guy didn't stop at a few hundred sites. He automated the whole thing. He wrote scripts that could spin up new websites faster than you could refresh your browser. At its peak, his network had 287 servers running simultaneously, 105 of them right there in Germany. And the number of active dark web domains, 373,000. Let that sink in. One person operated more websites than most countries have businesses. Each one was a trap, designed to look just real enough to get someone to open their crypto wallet. The money wasn't massive by Silicon Valley standards, about 345,000 euros over the course of several years. But that wasn't really the point. The point was that nobody could stop him. He was invisible, anonymous, and running a machine that basically printed money while he slept. By early 2021, he'd scammed over 10,000 people, 10,000 criminals who thought they were making a deal in the shadows, and every single one of them got played. But here's where this story takes a turn that nobody, not the scammer, not the customers, nobody saw coming. In mid-2021, a team of investigators at the Bavarian Central Office for the Prosecution of Cybercrime stumbled onto something strange. They were tracking dark web activity, standard stuff, when they noticed a pattern. Thousands of domains, all connected, all pointing back to the same infrastructure. They called it Alice with Violence CP, after the name on the platform. And this is the moment where most law enforcement agencies would have pulled the trigger, shut it all down, issue a press release, move on. But the Germans didn't do that. They looked at this network, this massive web of fake storefronts attracting thousands of criminals, and they had a very different idea. What if they didn't take it down? What if instead they just watched? Think about it. Every person who visited these sites, every person who typed in their details and sent Bitcoin was someone who wanted to buy illegal material. Their intent was crystal clear, and they were leaving digital fingerprints everywhere. The scammer had accidentally built the most effective law enforcement tool in dark web history, a honeypot, and he didn't even know it. For 4 years, they watched. The Bavarian Cybercrime Unit shared their discovery with Europol. And suddenly, this wasn't just a German investigation anymore. It was global. Agents from 23 countries were quietly logging every transaction, tracing every Bitcoin payment, unmasking every username. And the data they collected was staggering. 440 real identities, 440 people in countries all over the world who had tried to purchase child sexual abuse material from this network. They had names, they had addresses, they had everything. One of them was a 31-year-old father in Bavaria who tried to buy a 20 euro package. 20 euros. That's what he thought his secret was worth. He was convicted in August 2023, years before the main operation even went public. But he was just the beginning. The investigators weren't ready to show their hand yet, not until they had everything. March 9th, 2026. After 5 years of silent surveillance, Europol gave the signal. They called it Operation Alice. Over the next 10 days, law enforcement agencies across 23 countries moved simultaneously. They seized 105 servers in Germany. They shut down all 373,000 domains. They confiscated computers, phones, hard drives, and data storage from locations across Europe, North America, and beyond. On March 20th, Europol's executive director, Catherine de Boll, stood in front of cameras and delivered a message that every dark web user needed to hear. There is nowhere to hide for criminals when the international law enforcement community works hand in glove. The takedown was massive, but the real victory wasn't the servers or the websites. It was the list. 440 identified predators. More than 100 of them now under active investigation. Real names, real faces, real consequences. But there's one person who's still missing from this story. The man who started it all. The 35-year-old operator sitting somewhere in China who built 373,000 websites and accidentally created the biggest law enforcement honeypot in dark web history. An international arrest warrant has been issued, but as of right now, he hasn't been caught. Think about the irony for a second. He set out to scam criminals. He built a machine to steal from the worst people on the internet. And in doing so, he handed law enforcement the keys to unmask hundreds of predators who might never have been found otherwise. He didn't mean to help anyone, but he did. The question is, where is he now? And what happens when they find him?